This is just a sample of the audiobook. To get the complete audiobook, access the link posted in the first comment.
On the morning of June 12, 1944, British officer Major R.B. Booth left Cairo for Ankara, Turkey. After 2.5 days of traveling, including an uncomfortable 6-hour delay in Aleppo, Booth's train finally entered Turkey. With a half-emptied bottle of brandy sitting on the bedside table, Booth was sleeping in his private compartment when the Turkish customs official and a sleeping car attendant entered to inspect his luggage. When the customs official asked Booth if he had any money to declare, the drunk, half-asleep, and clearly annoyed British officer handed over his wallet with obvious impatience. In addition to his own money and Syrian currency, Booth happened to be carrying 2 5-pound notes of British administration currency, one for Greece and the other for Bulgaria. The official recorded the money, and Booth signed the declaration form, for which he was provided a duplicate copy for receipt. The next morning, a clearer-headed Booth frantically sought out the sleeping car attendant and demanded the original copy of the declaration form. He was informed that the customs official had already exited the train with the form in his possession. Booth explained in confidence that he had made a terrible mistake and that it was imperative that the Germans not learn that British administration currency was readily available to the Allies. The attendant reassured Booth that he was pro-British and promised to keep the information to himself. Given that he had committed an egregious security error, Booth then sought out the British military attaché in Ankara, General Alan Arnold, to explain his mistake. Arnold reprimanded Booth and promptly arranged for his return to Cairo. Arnold then initiated a series of damage control measures. Among other actions, he contacted the Turkish Secretary General, whom he spoke to as an ally under the condition of strictest confidence. He urgently requested that any information about the currency be suppressed and that the original monetary declaration form be returned or destroyed. Arnold went one step further to request that London dispatch a military accounts expert to Ankara, and the necessary administrative measures were taken immediately. On June 21, Booth was sent back to Cairo on a flight from Adana. Major Booth was a camouflage officer of GCAM, and the entire Booth affair was a ruse concocted by Lieutenant Colonel Michael Crichton of A-Force, Security Intelligence Middle East, SIME, and General Arnold in Ankara. It was part of Plan Turpitude, a subcomponent of Plan Zeppelin, to convince the Germans that the Allies intended to attack Greece through Turkey. The goal was to reveal to the Germans that advanced planning was underway, evidenced by the fact that the British had already issued special administration currency for Allied personnel to use in Greece and Bulgaria. The British expected the train attendant to sell the information to the Germans, and further hoped that information regarding General Arnold's efforts to suppress the whole affair would be duly leaked to the Germans. The Booth affair was typical of A-Force deceptions. It represented one piece of a very large puzzle that the deceptionist planted from many different sources to allow the enemy to put the puzzle together himself. By mid-1944, the deceptionists at A-Force were highly skilled and accomplished in the art of deception. They had crafted a deception machine responsible for the most elaborate, extensive, and successful deceptions ever seen in warfare. Through its skillful implementation of deception and diversionary tactics, A-Force played a significant role in the Allied success in World War II.